Cardinal Cupich, peace is not absence of war but work of justice. As he accepts a Blessed are the Peacemakers award from the Catholic Theological Union, Cardinal Blase J. Cupich of Chicago warns that conflicts mediated through screens risk reducing human lives to data points rather than persons. Cardinal Blase J. Cupich, Archbishop of Chicago, has been awarded the Catholic Theological Union's Blessed are the Peacemakers award. In his speech at the prize ceremony on Wednesday evening, the Cardinal quoted Pope Leo XIV's homily for Palm Sunday this year, in which he said that Jesus does not listen to the prayers of those who wage war, but rejects them. It is unfortunate, the Cardinal noted, that many had responded to the Pope's remarks by insisting on the importance of just war theory, a response which he said is beginning to sound less like moral discernment and more like an anxious effort to prove that what is happening might still be just. While there is a place for the just war theory, Cardinal Cupich said, such an approach is the wrong starting point. The first question we should ask, he stressed, is not can this war be justified? But rather what does the Gospel demand of us now? What does it mean, concretely, to be peacemakers? Serenity, creativity, sensitivity, skill. With this in mind, the Cardinal turned to consider 4 conditions for peace building, drawn from Pope Francis' Apostolic Exhortation Gaudete et Exsultate: serenity, creativity, sensitivity, and skill. Serenity is important, he said, not because peace ignores conflict, but because it refuses to be ruled by it. Instead of responding within the logic of domination and humiliation, the disciple steps outside that logic altogether. Creativity, on the other hand, is required because conflict cannot simply be absorbed, it must be transformed. In practice, this means a hard, patient work of dialogue and negotiation, not as tactics of compromise at any cost, but as moral processes ordered toward justice. Sensitivity, Cardinal Cupich said, means attention to the person, especially the difficult person. It is easy to speak of human dignity in the abstract, he noted, but much harder to recognize it in those who provoke, oppose, or wound us. Yet it is precisely this task to which the Gospel calls us. Sensitivity is becoming ever more difficult, the Cardinal said, due to the growing gamification of war, conflicts mediated through screens, reduced to images, metrics, and strategic abstractions, where human lives risk being perceived as data points rather than persons. The final prerequisite for peace building, Cardinal Cupich said, is skill. We often speak of peace as an aspiration or a feeling, he noted, but Pope Francis calls it a craft. It must be learned, practiced, and refined. It requires habits, the discipline to restrain one's speech, the courage to tell the truth without hatred, the patience to build trust, the willingness to sacrifice one